Hey, and welcome back to another one with me, Wayne, Yorkie, or as Goldtooth wanted to call me recently, and that's Barry. If you want to call me Barry. I don't mind. Just be nice. Yeah, I've got a few different bits to talk about in this one, to be fair. I've got, let's just show you, I've got 4 of these things from the place that we don't mention, but one of them, being usual, is in an envelope, which is lovely. But one of these two, I think it's this one or in this one of these two is a £100 game and one is a £20 game. And I'm hoping this isn't the £100 game, but we'll get to those shortly. But yeah, before we get on with this, anyway, I want to touch on the charity shop finds I had in the last video that I said that I found that day. Yeah, when I was on my way to take them out to CEX, I popped in another charity shop while I was out, and as you can see, there's another sizable receipt again. I found a bunch more DVDs in another charity shop, and it turns out that Steelbook Blu-rays are worth quite a bit at CEX. I hadn't known prior, but yeah, I got a few, and a voucher there of, oh God, will that even focus? £60 and a penny. I got out of, well, I spent less than that, obviously, but that's already been spent on another bunch of games. I have 2 on the way tomorrow, but these 4 will go through very shortly. But as I mentioned in my last video about the price of PS1 games, it's a little bit extortionate for some of them, if I'm honest. I understand with rarity and desirability, I get it, but some of them are just crazy prices. Which brings me on to more recent systems of all things, really, is the PS3 and the 360. The 360 obviously saw a price hike when they announced the store closure, what was it, some point last year, I believe now. The prices went crazy for some of the 360 games. And for some reason, those prices are starting to creep up again now. But as a semi-PS3 collector, it brings me to talk about the PS3, to be honest. Back in 2021, when they announced that they were going to close the PS3 store, which they didn't through backlash of people saying, no, don't do it, blah, blah, blah. At the time, some games went crazy prices. Games like X-Blades and Folklore, you couldn't give these games away prior to that. They were dirt cheap and nobody wanted them. And then Sony came along and says, we're going to close the PS3 store and the Vita store. And suddenly a bunch of these games, excuse me, have gone up in price. And when they decided they weren't closing the store, yeah, some of these games came back down in price. But some stayed level. I mean, Folklore, I think it's around £35–40 now. And I believe it won't be long. I mean, Xbox, they closed the store last year. Sony wanted to do the same 3 years ago. 4 years ago now, nearly now. They didn't. They kept it open. But the thing is when they kept it open, it's not like they've gone, right, here's a sale on games. I mean, some games on the PS3 store are ridiculously priced. Call of Duty Ghosts like £60 on the PS3 store, something daft like that last time I looked. You can pick the game up for pennies now, physically, which brings me on again to physical versus digital gaming. But we'll touch on that shortly when I've finished chuntering about this. Yeah, the 360, in December this year, the 360 will be 20 years old. To some folk, that's a long time ago. To some others, that, like myself, that doesn't even feel like yesterday. I mean, I worked for Game around that time, around the 360 and the PS3 launches, and it doesn't feel like it's nearly 20 years ago that I worked there. Excuse me. But the thing is I guess with the 360 now being at that price it's at, well, sorry, at the age it's at, not the price, will then drive up the price because a lot of people at the time were kids or a lot younger at the time when it was new, and now these people have grown up, got jobs, and they've got that bit more disposable income, and they've got that nostalgia hit, and everybody has that nostalgia hit. I'm not immune to it. I mean, back in 1995 when the PS1 first came out, I got it of Christmas that year. I think it came out the September of that year, and I got it at Christmas. And my love for the PS1, as you can see, has never really gone away. If anything, it's come back more in recent years as I've got a bit older and I've started to appreciate the things I had as a child versus what's around now. So yeah, like I say, the 360 is 20 years old in December, and in March of this year, the PS3 will be 18 years old. So I think it will genuinely be only a matter of time now till Sony announce the inevitable closure of the PS3 store. And it wouldn't make much sense for them to keep it open, maybe say beyond this year, maybe into next year at a push. But I don't understand why they're even keeping it open. There's no deals on there to be had. There's no cheap pricing on there. It's not like they've gone, right, all these games are cheap, because they haven't done that, and the games are cheap, much cheaper to buy physically anyway. And in this day and age, you've got to weigh up, is physical versus digital better? I mean, the downtime of the PSN servers a couple of weeks ago, it didn't affect me because I don't play the modern stuff anyway, but certain games like, say, Gran Turismo 7, a single-player game predominantly, unless you play the multiplayer, requires an internet connection. Don't ask me why. It's billed as a live service game, but they don't exactly give you a lot of new content regular, do they? But yeah, it's just like this downtime, and a lot of people couldn't play games because it required internet connections or a sign-in confirmation or whatever. And that's the way for digital games as well. And it's a joke, if I'm honest, that people are preferring to go digital. Sorry, I thought there was a knock at my door. But yeah, some people are wanting, yeah, let's go digital. Yeah, I get it. It's easier and it's less time consuming than going to the shop to buy a game. But you've got nothing to trade if you want to move it on at a later stage. And it just drives the price of all physical up anyway. I mean, PS1, 2, 3 are all going up in price. And PS3 at the minute, I believe, is starting to climb up. So if you're a collector like me, which most of you that watch me are, I would probably say start buying PS3 stuff now. If you haven't already. Purely on the basis of that, the PS3, like the 360, will hit with price rises very soon, I'd imagine, when they announce the store closure. Everyone will get FOMO, and then that's it. The prices will go through the roof. Personally, games I would say to anyone who's watching now to go for would be the ones that were PSN store games. So say Pain, Siren Blood Curse. There's a few others. I think there's a game called Africa and Heavy Rain. Fat Princess, there's another one. I know there's more, but they're just examples right there. But these are the ones that'll go ridiculously priced, the PSN ones. And the HD collections are definitely going to be the ones that start going up. I mean, Ratchet and Clank HD collection is like £42 in CEX, and I think the Sly Raccoon ones are pushing that sort of way. So I'd probably recommend the HD collections and exclusives. Maybe not certain games like, say, Uncharted. They sold massively, so I doubt they're going to be rare. You can pick them up for £1 anyway. But there is a lot of games on the PS3 that the prices are just going to go ridiculous. Like I said, Folklore is going to be one of those games. For all its failures and its awful control schemes, I wouldn't be surprised if the game called Lair, that goes some way in the way of expensive. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on these things because I feel a lot of people are going to start to have that nostalgia of the systems they had when they were kids. So I think just like the 360, the PS3 is going to go through the roof as soon as the closure of the store happens. And I don't think it'll be long. I think I would be amazed if it's not this year. I really think it'll be this year that Sony announce it. Excuse me. Which brings me on to my final point before I get on with my pickups, is digital gaming as a whole. I don't trust it. I don't understand that people do want to trust it. I mean, I get it with the PC. Everybody loves Steam and such. I get it. But Sony, for example, they're not renowned for their sheer excellence in customer satisfaction and well, online competency. I mean, the recent downtime, the downtime that happened a few years back in the PS3 generation when the PSN was down for a month. Some of you might not even remember that, if I'm honest, but I remember it. Yeah, I don't think digital gaming. I mean, I know it's taking over, I really do, but we need to not support it as a whole. I mean, I know it's more convenient, but please don't support it, because then physical media is going to go away, and then we're going to be stuck at the mercy of these digital storefronts, and they can just charge whatever they want. I mean, most of you might even notice you go to places like, let's just say the supermarkets, Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, all of these, they've either got rid of game sections or they've slimmed them down to such a small area. HMV is another one. Game have gone now and they're in the awful sports store of, what is it, Sports Direct, and they're not good quality products in game anymore. They don't do second hand, and the competency is probably not really there because they don't have dedicated gaming know-how staff. It's all sporty staff that know more about football, but they're expected to sell games as well. It's not my forte in this knowledge, but it's a slippery slope that I'm glad I'm not invested into. I prefer this stuff anyway. But anyway, I'll shut up ranting about that, because I know a lot of you are not daft. You know the ins and outs of it, just like anyone. I mean, but if you're into collecting PS3 stuff, I would definitely suggest, if you're not already, start collecting sooner rather than later, and go for those games that are higher priced now, because they're only going to double in price, if maybe go more in the future. So try and get some of those if that's the way you're going. I myself are doing the same with PS1 with the CX vouchers. I tend to go for the more expensive or the more obscure ones to just try and get them gone and done, because I don't want to keep paying stupid money for a game down the line when if I'd not done it now, I'll only be kicking myself later on for not doing it when I had the opportunity to do so. So yeah, with that, we'll get into the pickups. I feel we might as well, but I think I'm going to put these two to one side. It's just the way I stacked them. And we'll get the envelope one done first. And I'll also show you something. I mean, you'll probably think I'm a bit of a geek for this, but we'll do the pickups first, and then I'll get on to this one. Yeah, envelope jobby. I've already removed the tape to there, so it's easier for getting to this point. Right. Oh God, I can't never do it. Let's go for a slow rip. Yeah, we've got a game in here with absolutely zero padding, and this game is, well, thankfully it was the £20 one, but yeah, you'll see, look, there's the game, absolutely zero padding, so no padding whatsoever, but they managed to put me one of these in. How lovely and thoughtful of you. But surprisingly, there's no damage to the case whatsoever. Bear with me, let me just get these unsightly stickers off. I hate these stickers they use. I'm not really rapid at this sort of thing, but here we go. But yeah, they've sent me in a really good case, actually. The disc is, apart from a fingerprint on there that you might not be able to see because of the lighting, yeah, you're not going to see it, but that's a very, very good disc, and the manual is clean and fresh. The only downside I'm going to have is they've put a sticker, I hate this, on the back of the front inlay, and it looks like they've tried to peel it and it's like not coming off. I'll IPA it later, but we've got Space Hulk, Vengeance of the Blood Angels. I know nothing about Warhammer stuff. I think is it a Warhammer game, Space Hulk? Games Workshop in the corner, so I imagine so. I know nothing about these types of games. I'm not that one of those sort of players. I don't really, I mean, my lighting's terrible here, I apologise, and it's reflective. But from what I've read about Games Workshop and Warhammer's woes at the minute, I think they've been going down the road of modern ideologies, let's just say. I won't say the WOKE word, because I don't want to offend anybody, but I know they've gone down certain roads and it's not really working from what I've read. But yeah, so Space Hulk is the first one. Yeah, which brings me on to another reason I don't like modern games is the ideologies they're all taking and going down. A lot of them are flopping. I mean, is it Avowed is a new one, and that's not doing so well. And a big Microsoft game as well. But these games are not made for me, they're made for people in general. But it's not my place to say. I just know that I don't want to play them. The most recent game I have been playing, sounds daft, but I've been playing the new Tomb Raider 4, 5, 6 remasters on my PS5. Again, I say don't support digital, but the reason I've bought these ones digital is, like I did the first one and the Legacy of Kain ones, is basically if they've been selling well, they'll release more, and I love those games back in the day, so I wanted to support them, and I'll buy them again physically. I know I kind of shooting myself in the foot with all that jazz, but hey ho, here we go, another basket of this nonsense. This game I saw come into stock. I had to get it purely because I've not seen it in stock before at CEX, so I wanted to get it. I had this as a kid, loved it, and I'm going to play this. Well, I'm going to play it when I finish this video, to be honest. The disc, apart from a bit of dust on there, there you can see the dust, but that'll wipe off. But other than that, there's not a mark on it. The manual has no rusty staples, which is a bonus. And it doesn't stink of cigarettes, and it looks in fairly good condition. Well, the game anyway is Project Overkill, and this is such a cool little game. I mean, I'm not very good at describing games. There's a lot of words on the back here about, like, something to do with mercenaries. I don't want to say all these words for fear of the YouTube hammer, but I'll show you if you can read that text. God, my camera is awful. But if you can read that text, I don't think you can. I'm really sorry. But it's Project Overkill. It's such a cool game, if I remember rightly. But is this a nostalgia hit? It's from 1996. Well, as you can see anyway, the condition they've sent it to me in, the case has a crack there and a big one there that creates floppiness in the case. But like I've said before, the cases are not the be all and end all. But the game is pretty cool, and I love the artwork on that one. So let's just get on to the next one now. I mean, I'm pushing 20 minutes, and I don't want to rant and whinge, and I don't want people thinking I'm a moaner, because I'm not. Nice clean peel again. Right, let's get that out. Which reminds me, they didn't send me an invoice for that last one. What's this one then? Ah, this is my replacement to the game on my other video they sent me, Exhumed, basically. Excuse me. Yeah, this is my replacement that they've sent out. Let's see if they've sent me a good condition one out. It looks to be in good condition. Why do I feel... Now, let me just check this manual out. Yeah, it's all in English. It just seems... It looked like it was in foreign at the back. Well, the disc is nice and clean. The front inlay is good, and we don't have no stinky manual. I mean, other than a crack on the hinge there it's probably barely noticeable. It looks to be all in good order. But obviously, there we go. Exhumed. That is just a sticker, which I'll... Oh, there we go. It's off. But yeah, I'm glad they've managed to send me a good one out. And I don't like to say this, but every bad game I've had, or bad condition game should I say, have always come from a store in Ireland. I don't know if that's due to terrible quality controls or what. But yeah, the other copy of Exhumed, they told me it came from a store in Ireland, and the Tombi 2 game I had a while back came from there too. So I don't want to say yay or nay about that, but it is what it is. The last pickup or order, don't like to say pick up when I haven't actually physically picked it up. It's an internet order, Wayne. Nothing more. What's this one? Aha! Forgot about this one. This is the £100 game, which they've definitely packaged well. And now this game, I'm going to say straight off the bat, is one of the more unique titles about the PS1. And this is, again, another reason I love the PS1. Because it's just full of titles that are super unique. And you don't get these types of games anymore. And which is a shame, because this one is really funny. Or fun, should I say? I don't want to say funny. It's not hilarious, is it? But I've got the manual. Oh, anyway, the game is Vib-Ribbon. This game is just crazy good. It's hard to explain. Let's just get this bit out of the way a minute. It's hard to explain, but there you go, Vib-Ribbon. I remember playing this game and putting a heavy metal CD in. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember the band anyway. I won't get into that. But yeah, you just put your own music CDs in it, and the game makes a level based off your music CDs, which is just crazy. But they don't make titles like this no more. And it has a very weird name, but £100 it cost me. But it's come with the manual, which is an open-out manual, which is cool, I guess. But is this a poster that it's come with too? I don't really want to open it for fear of destroying it, because this thing's old, but there we go. Vib-Ribbon poster inside there. I'm actually quite chuffed that there's a poster with it. I mean, I'm too old to put it up on my wall. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I folded it back alright. Well, that's cool. I'm actually mega happy with that, to be fair. The disc was in excellent condition. Inlay is in good condition. The case is in very, very good condition. There's not a mark on it. I mean, there's some scratches to the case, but no cracks or damage. So, 4 games today. Vib-Ribbon, Exhumed, Project Overkill, and Space Hulk. Obviously, Exhumed was just a replacement for the damaged one they sent me. And yeah, I've got 2 more arriving tomorrow. And then I am going to be doing 1 more charity trip for the week. So I'm hoping to finally get some more good stuff. Because I've already traded everything I have currently. So my charity shop mission tomorrow, I'm hoping there's some good stuff for me. If not, it's not the end of the world. But anyway, we'll get on to the last point I wanted to show some people, because some people wanted to know how I keep track of games I do and don't have. I'll just pull the first page out just because it's easier. But I printed a list, as you can see, right, of every single game that came out on PAL Territories in the PlayStation. I went through that list after I'd printed it out. Well, before I printed it out, once I downloaded it, and removed all the games that weren't UK ones. So like the UK has games such as Three Lions, the football game for the England team. The French one has Le Monde Blues, or however you pronounce that game, for the French football team, and so on and so forth for different regions. So I removed all the games that were duplicates. There's another one was in the UK we got Max Power Racing for the chavvy little big exhaust car type of racing games. The front cover gives it away anyway. But in Europe they got, and everywhere else they got C3 Racing, slightly different cover but same game underneath. So yeah, I went through all that and removed all of the European territory games. So as you see on the list, these are all UK releases. This is just the first page in my book, which is my booklet, which is 0 to 9 and the A's. But that gets to Alien Resurrection is the bottom there, and then another page which is more A's there, and then another page which is excuse me, the last A's into B. And you'll see different coloured pen scribbling out the games that I've got. There is no difference in the games. It's just, for example, I've got green, then blue, then purple. There's no difference in them. It's just literally the felt tips that I've borrowed from my little girl run out over time, don't they? So I've had to then move on to a different colour. So I literally just put a line through every game I get. So this is so nerdy, I know, and I've even got a ring binder. Look, I know some people might like that. Others will probably think I'm a geek for it. But look, I am a geek. It's what I like. So there we go. So you might notice at the bottom there, is it that one? Yeah, there. Exhumed is there. So obviously I'll pull the paper out, the ring thing, and I'll put a line through it, put it back in here. And besides that aspect, I mean, I do have a bit of a weird memory where I can't really remember what I did yesterday. In fact, I ain't got a clue what I did yesterday. But I can remember certain games that I do and don't have. I do it more so by front cover. I recognise games by what I see on the picture. That's kind of what sticks, not the name. But yeah, anyway, enough chuntering, because I've been on 26 minutes now. And I'd be amazed if there's anyone that watches this to the end. But anyway, if I've touched on a few subjects that a few others kind of agree with, about price rises or digital gaming versus physical gaming, even the modern gaming issues with games full of political issues and ideological issues, not the fun anymore, are they, when they're like that? Dragon Age Veilguard, great series, ruined by the most recent one. But anyway, enough of that. My next video will either be tomorrow, as it's Thursday today as recording, so I might do another one tomorrow if I get good finds from my charity shop hunts. If not, my next video will probably be after the weekend. But anyway, thank you for watching, listening to this old man chat absolute rubbish. Yeah, so I will catch you all in the next one, and thank you very, very much for watching. Bye bye.